Spence team business. Let's do it. Who is it?
Set to pack them in. Ladies and gentlemen, front, left, right, back again.
Who is it?
Violated people
In the house again. It's the yeah, back again. For the very fourth time. Don't worry if I write checks, I write rhymes.
Bring that back to the top, man.
Yeah, you like that, right? I need to hear that from the top. Yo, Bad.
This service is provided in high definition by freeconferencecallhd.com. You are the only participant in the conference.
Yeah, back again. For the very fourth time. Don't worry if I write checks, I write rhymes. It's a new year. Okay, got to confess. Like I ain't smoking. Been smoking no less. Back again. Yeah, reversing any curses. Back to jumping in crowds, spilling drinks on chicks' purses. Dilated people. Back again. Back again.
The crew never left, but came back.
Amazing.
Like tomorrow on his yesterday cats. Learn to skate.
Yeah.
Stay awake and out of the federal state trap.
Yo, we back again.
Kinda like Bush and Blair. Some were scared, some would just wish they cared. Never too late to prepare. As many things you fear have been in place for years. Who is it?
In the house again. Set to pack them in. Ladies and gentlemen, front, left, right, back again.
Who is it?
Violated people
In the house again. It's the back again.
More titles, rings, and plaques. Belts, trophies, and banners, and things like that.
Like that. Oh, definitely like that. AFC, dilated people. Hey, yo, Rock, I don't think they understand, man. So bring that back. Back again.
More titles, rings, and plaques. Belts, trophies, and banners, and things like that. For the passion and stacks of this cash. You play through pain, mostly come home to switch bags. To get my squad back on track. Staples in the parades, I'm talking back to back. It's dilated and we're back again.
Yeah, they stuck it different. And rain was on the way because the weatherman predicted. In the house again. I ain't getting wet. Kick a hole in the speaker, pull the plug. Still my people showing love. Think different outside the box. Don't want a lot of a little. We want a little of a lot. In this world, evidence, all I got's my words. Spinning 33 and a third to make the DJ spin it. Nah, let me people's on
everywhere we go now. We the rough, tough, and dangerous. The hardest working artists can't hang with us. All around the world. In 80 days from LA, telling have-nots to have it your way. Get it. All the people know now. NY to PA, ATL, DC to VA. Come on. Everywhere we go. Competition can't spit, so dilate it, run through them like rapid trance. Everywhere we go now.
Dead serious. With the best damn rap show, period.
Alright, what is up, boxing fans? It is Krod, and I am here with another good live stream for tonight. I'm going to be talking about a couple stories tonight. For those of you that are interested, I'm going to basically talk about Bob Arum claiming that Terrence Crawford would stop Errol Spence like he did to Kell Brook, and Tommy Fury, Tyson Fury's cousin, that came out talking about Fury versus Wilder Free, and he sent a message to Deontay Wilder's younger brother, Marsellos Wilder. And then the third topic would be Shakur Stevenson's analyzation of Teofimo Lopez versus Devin Haney. Alright, so first up, let me just say this man on the right, Mr. Terrence Bud Crawford, gave Kell Brook the work, which I put my hats off to Kell Brook. He did a very great job fighting. I personally believe that that Terrence Crawford did what he had to do, but Kell Brook, could have easily turned the whole fight around if he had kept his jab at bay. And Terrence Crawford's right eye was getting messed up too, so it was crazy enough to see that type of damage done onto, I guess, Terrence in that manner, where anything could have happened, and I definitely put my hats off to Terrence Crawford, taking down Kell Brook. That was a really good fight. I personally believe Terrence Crawford is going to fight Errol Spence eventually, but I guess that the question is when and how much longer do we the fans have to wait for Terrence Crawford to fight Errol Spence when we already know that Errol Spence, he has Danny Garcia. That's going to be a highly anticipated bout, but if anything, Terrence Crawford needs to make the bigger moves to try to go after bigger names to uplift his career at a greater level. So for tonight's show, we're going to be covering those three stories. And yeah. Also, call-ins are available for any of you that want to talk with me about anything related to the topics or anything of what you guys may be interested in. So, yeah. But let's get right into this first topic here. Bob Arum claimed that Crawford would stop Spence like he did with Kell Brook. And I find this really weird because I don't understand how Errol Spence would be stopped by Terrence Crawford when this is one of Terrence Crawford's toughest fights that he's ever been in. And by the way, Terrence Crawford stopped Kell Brook in 4 rounds, and he got pretty lucky of defeating him. Which I just say that because Terrence Crawford is a very tough opponent, and he doesn't, how should I say, slouch onto anyone. I think, if anything, he did a very good job making sure he kept his jab at bay, and he gave Kell, the business of what he had to do to not put himself at a position where he had to struggle. And I think that's what Crawford needed to do anyway when you kind of think about it, because he really had no other option other than try to find the right punch that led to a huge, destabilized mental state that put Kell in an uncomfortable position. And good enough that he did that, because if Crawford hadn't done that, then that would have been such a huge issue. And good enough that Crawford had, TKO'd Kell, because it was definitely a very tough fight. And as far as scoring wise, Kell was definitely, winning the fight. It could have been 2 rounds to 1 or 3 rounds to nothing. But Terrence Crawford got the job done. But let's get into this article. Bob Arum was on his soapbox last Saturday night following the 4th round technical knockout of his top-ranked fighter, Terrence Crawford, against a pass his best Kell Brook in the bubble at the MGM Grand Las Vegas, Nevada. Brook's fragile mandible let him down in the fourth round after being hit with what was basically a jab. In Brooks' losses to Errol Spence and Gennady Golovkin, he took shots from another galaxy in terms of power compared to the weak shots that Crawford was hitting him with last night. Crawford can't punch at the 147-pound limit, but his lack of power has been disguised due to the lesser of opposition he's been fed by Top Rank. It's pretty clear that Arum needs to make the fights between Crawford and Manny Pacquiao and Errol Spence Jr. Not only is the soon-to-be 34-year-old Crawford starting to age out, but his contract with Top Rank is running out in 2021. Since when does a fighter become great after beating Brook? We already saw Golovkin and Spence beat Brook, and neither is being called an all-time great. Sean Porter arguably beat Brook 2 in their fight in 2014, and he ended up losing a controversial decision. Is Porter great too? The promotional company can't afford to continue to match Crawford against washed-up fighters like Kell Brook, Amir Khan, and Jose Benavidez Jr. to make him look good. If Crawford can't handle it against the best, oh well. At least Top Rank finally will know what they have in Crawford, and they can start over with someone else. Hopefully, Top Rank doesn't waste 12 years matching the next guy with the same type of opposition that Crawford has been fighting since he turned pro in 2008. They got to finally get it over with. They got to finally get it over with. Put Crawford in the deep end in the sink or swim situation. After 12 years of careful matchmaking, Top Rank has to find out what they have in Crawford by putting him in with an elite fighter for the first time in his career. Chris William hates to say it, but after the way Crawford looked last night against a shot Brook, he won't do well against Spence, Pacquiao, Sean Porter, Keith Thurman, Yordenis Ugas, or Virgil Ortiz Jr. Okay, I have something to say about that. Last night's Crawford-Brook fight was just another example of Top Rank skillfully matching Crawford against another mediocre opponent to make him look good. Chris Brook was just a shell of the fighter. He was 1,400 plus yesterday ago when he got beaten by Gennady Goodboy Golovkin in 2016. We've seen this type of careful matchmaking by Crawford's promoters for years, and this was just another example last Saturday with a washed-up Brook. Brook being used as the stable horse. It's all smoke and mirrors, let me tell you, and it doesn't give a true picture of Crawford's actual talent or lack thereof. The Top Rank promoter, Arum, looked like his feathers had been ruffled during the post-fight interview by ESPN when asked whether whether Crawford would fight IBF WBA welterweight champion Errol the True Spence Jr. Next, Crawford doesn't look as good as the top welterweights in the division, let alone better than the fighters that Arum had promoted in the past. Floyd Mayweather Jr. would have schooled Crawford last night, and he wouldn't have been caught by a surprise by a simple right hook the way Brook was. I don't think I need to go too deep into this, but you guys can kind of get the picture. They obviously want to try to make Terrence Crawford look like he's not that good of a fighter, when clearly we have seen a very good test of Terrence Crawford, and it wasn't a very easy fight. It was a very difficult opponent in which Kell Brook could have easily stopped Terrence Crawford if he had utilized his jab way more. But then on top of that, Terrence Crawford has made adjustments with every single fight he's been in, and the amount of pressure that Crawford was, putting on Kell Brook to try to find the right opportunity to hit Kell, that's basic boxing 101 fundamentals. And there's really nothing I can say that Crawford did wrong against Brook, but if anything, Kell Brook said in like the pre-fight press conference, or you know, I guess at the weigh-in discussion, right, where they were saying, or like I believe Max Kellerman asked Kell Brook, how does he feel after weigh-ins, and Kell Brook said that he was in like, the best shape of his life, and I guess that the good thing about Kell Brook is like he committed to taking this fight because he wanted to do this for legacy, and Terrence Crawford gave him the opportunity to have him showcase his skills, which he did. And Crawford, he did struggle a little bit against Kell Brook, but would you just say that Kell Brook is all washed up, knowing that Crawford, he had to figure Kell out, and then he had to just get him with one good punch, and then boom, it was a knockout. But Kell was winning the fight early, so Crawford, if it had went to like a decision, yeah, that could have been a very, very difficult, a very difficult night for Crawford, where he could have possibly lost this fight. But then on top of that, Kell Brook, he's not how should I say? He's not the type of fighter that makes you think he's going to fight different every time he fights. Like, whatever Kell Brook does in the ring is whatever Kell Brook does in the ring. And shout out to Blue Blood Sports TV, but he made a very good point where you're only going to get Kell Brook for what Kell Brook gives you. That's just my paraphrase, but that makes perfect sense, because if you kind of think about it, Kell Brook is just that type of fighter where he cannot go as further, away from his original craft to make him look more unpredictable in the fight. And the thing with Crawford is that Crawford is so dangerous when he knows how to break you down. And it was good enough that Crawford did do that, because if Crawford never made any adjustments for the fight, then Kell probably would have stopped Crawford tonight, or he would have stopped Crawford last night. So what this article was basically saying is that Terrence Crawford wasn't impressive of beating a guy, which he is a very tough guy. Let's not make it seem like that Kell Brook is a bad fighter. Kell Brook is a very, very good fighter. He is definitely on the pound for pound list if we're going to try to go with the amount of skill that he's put onto the table. He's fought Triple G. He fought Errol Spence. He never really got stopped in those fights. It was his injuries that had been brought up through that fight. He got two eye sockets broken from Errol Spence and Triple G, Gennady Golovkin, and that's really what made him get stopped in those fights. But he was never losing in those fights. He could have easily won those fights and destroyed either of those two guys. But the problem was that he got injured. Honestly, I felt bad for Kell Brook in the sense of that if his eyes literally got broken again, he could have died. I'm just putting that out there. Terrence Crawford is a very, very humble fighter, but Kell Brook, he came to fight. Kell Brook had every single tool in the toolbox to try to utilize his adjustments on Terrence, but Terrence, he just got the better of him. He got that one good jab to hit Kell Brook, and then boom, Kell Brook, he fell apart, and Terrence Crawford took advantage of it to knock him out. So, does that mean that Kell Brook is all washed up, knowing that Terrence Crawford took the advantage to fight Kell Brook, knowing that Kell Brook, he had 5 months to train to get ready for this fight, and then on top of that, Terrence Crawford, he always stays in shape every single day. But then again, Kell Brook, he was wanting to fight Terrence Crawford, months ago. So I mean, prior to the start of 2020, he was already in negotiations with Terrence Crawford to fight him, and Terrence Crawford asked him, "Hey, are you going to make sure that you're going to make 147? And Kell Brook said, yeah, I'm going to make 147. No worries. And then everybody wants to complain that, oh, Kell Brook, he came in super drained. He looked like he's not in shape, and he doesn't, look look naturally fit for 147. But let me tell you something. Kell Brook had plenty of time to train, but then sadly he did not have his actual trainer with him from the UK, because I guess with the UK having their crazy, nonsensical lockdowns, his trainer did not want to come out of Britain to try to, I guess train him for the fight, because he was, I guess, sick or some manner. Like, I'm not too sure about it, but he didn't want to come over to help Kell get ready for the Terence Crawford fight. So Kell picked up some other trainer off of Instagram that he met, and then he just started training with him, which is very weird. But then on top of that, he took advantage of it. But I mean, Kell Brook did a very good job, even though that it's only been it was only 4 rounds, but Terence Crawford, just got the better of him. But either way, it was a very good fight in the sense of that Terence Crawford did whatever he had to do to win. And there's really nothing that you could say that Kell Brook did wrong, because he had to come into the fight with a chip on his shoulder in order to, put Terence Crawford at bay for him to win the fight. But let me tell you something. If Kell Brook would have had more ability to sustain from Crawford's power, which, I mean, he is a very good fighter. Let's not deny it. He has an iron chin. So Terence Crawford, he has a very strong physique to knock people out. And, it's very surprising that the number 1 pound for pound fighter in the world took out a guy that, doesn't even get stopped. Actually, if anything, I wouldn't even say Kell Brook never got stopped. This is actually the very first technical knockout, or TKO, that Kell Brook has ever went through to get stopped in a fight without any, possible injury to it. So basically, Kell Brook has been knocked out by a very good fighter, by Terence Crawford, or from Terence Crawford, and that was really his first ever TKO loss. Gennady Golovkin fight, those were 2 stoppages that were done because of his injuries that were accidental, or like whatever happened in that fight. But no, Kell Brook is a very strong opponent, and he got tested by Terence Crawford, and Terence Crawford beat him. So that shows that Terence Crawford, he has power. He can fight. He can take out, upper echelon guys. And I mean, Kell Brook, he's a very good fighter. There's really nothing that you can say that Kell Brook has tried to screw up on, other than, he just got caught at the wrong time, and boom. He even said after the fight, I'd never felt that type of power, to hit me, and then, he wasn't able to respond. So, I mean, Kell Brook tried to, get back up to recover, but no, Terence Crawford just went in there, took advantage of it, and he closed the show. So, I give, big props to Terence Crawford and Kell Brook, because if this fight had gone to a 12-round decision, I think honestly Terence Crawford would have lost, because Kell Brook, he was doing absolutely a beautiful job with his jab. He should have utilized his defense a lot more to try to counterpunch Terence, but it was such a big chess match that Terence, he just caught Kell with like a really good with just a clean straight jab, and then boom, Terence won. So there's really nothing that anybody could say that Terence beat up a washed up, damaged goods Kell Brook, because Kell Brook came in to fight. He honestly, Mike Tyson said it best. Everybody has a game plan until they get hit. When you get hit in the ring, you don't know what the hell's going to go on after you try to respond to another man or woman's punch. You're going to have to think fast, and you're going to have to recover at a sense of making yourself more sustainable in the fight. And sadly enough, when it comes to facing upper echelon competition at the highest level, that is something that no pro would ever be able to, make a comeback and try to make himself, how should I say, try to make himself, how should I say, sustainable to sustain the fight. So either way, I give big props to Kell Brook for taking this fight. Honestly, I think, it was just simply Terrence Crawford's immense power that put Kell Brook at such a harsh, position where he was not able to do what to do what he wanted to do. And Kell Brook, he got stopped, sadly, but credits to Terrence Crawford getting the win, and credits to whatchamacallit, to Kell Brook. He did a very good job. So it's really good that he did what he had to do. But sometimes you just can't, take those type of punches. But I think that's what made himself a very good fighter at the end, that he just wanted to give it what he got, and then he kind of got what he got. So I think that's going to make a very good impact for what the world is going to see out of Terrence Crawford. And Errol Spence is going to definitely give Terrence Crawford the biggest fight of his career. And just wait until Terrence Crawford meets Errol Spence. It is going to be a much different fight, and everybody from all types of fans of either of these fighters, or people that just hate both of them, you're going to see a very big fight, when that fight happens. And it's going to be a much completely different style, where Terrence Crawford will basically bring the best out of him to solidify his career, or Errol Spence. Either way, undisputed championships will be made at 147. So, yeah, let's get on to the next source. I got it right here. Fury Wilder free. Tommy Fury sends warning to Marsellos Wilder. The Fury versus Wilder feud could potentially head to the next level, as their younger brothers are now trading words. Tommy Fury, the younger brother of WBC champion, Tyson Fury has sent a warning to Marsellos Wilder, the younger brother of Deontay Wilder. Tommy Fury, 21, returned to the ring past Friday, scored a big knockout of Gennady Kravetsky. The win raised his undefeated record to 4-0, with three of those wins by knockout. Marsellos Wilder, a 31-year-old, has been out of the ring since November, when he was knocked out by Dustin Long in 4 rounds. The loss dropped his record to 5-2, with the other defeat also being a knockout loss, which took place in January of the same year. If his brother wants the same as Deontay got, then he can get it. I see a lot of people tweeting about wanting to fight me, but I never saw that before I went into Love Island, so I know what they are after, Tommy Fury said. If Marsellos Wilder is one of those, then I will be happy to oblige. My advice to him would be to keep quiet and stay in America, where he could try to help his brother recover from what Tyson did to him, fair and square. Tyson Fury is expected to return to the ring on December 5th. Yeah, not going to happen. Back in February, he dropped and stopped Deontay in 7 rounds to capture the WBC world title. They fought to a controversial 12-round split draw in December of 2018. Deontay has since made several cheating allegations against Tyson. Yes, sir. Including a claim that Tyson loaded his gloves. There was a contractual clause to force a trilogy bout, but the two sides are now entangled in a legal battle. Deontay Wilder believes the clause is still valid, while Tyson Fury and his handlers believe that the clause has expired. Just a bunch of idiots. But, yeah. These guys are idiots. To hell with these guys. But I like Tommy Fury. He's my homie. I would not hope that he's a cheater like his brother, Tyson Fury. But let's let's talk about that. Tommy Fury, you're a very awesome person. But, my nigga, you have to sometimes keep your mouth out of other people's grown adult business. Even though that you're 21 and I'm 25. But let's just keep it clear. Tommy Fury has been, requested by his Twitter army fans that he should fight Deontay Wilder's brother, Marsellos Wilder. I think it would be a good fight, but it wouldn't surprise me if Tommy has more skill than his brother, or then Marsellos Wilder. But I think this fight should be made. It would definitely be a good step up fight for Marsellos, and it would definitely get the feud and the build up for Wilder Fury trilogy to be a lot bigger. I think that would actually make it a lot more interesting, and it'd be very funny to see Tommy Fury go at it with Deontay Wilder's brother. I'd be laughing so hard. But either way, it would be such a cool, interesting fight to see. But don't get it twisted. Tommy Fury, he's a very good fighter. I've seen this guy fight in amateurs. He is no joke. He could literally knock somebody's head off. And, he even called out Logan Paul to even fight him. That's the famous YouTuber that fought KSI. In which, don't get it twisted. I hate Logan Paul. Logan Paul is not the type of person to make himself be notable in boxing. But it would be very funny to see Tommy KO Logan. I would seriously be laughing. And I think Tommy should do that because he'll get a big payday. But either or, this fight could be makeable. I think it would be a very interesting battle to see Tommy go at it with Marsellos. But it just wouldn't surprise me for the latest that Marsellos would come out of his way and say, let's make that fight happen. I will knock out Tyson Fury's brother, blah blah blah. And that would be a pretty interesting fight. But I just wanted to put that out there because he was talking about Tyson Fury, trying to say that his brother should help out Deontay because he's going to end up like Deontay getting dropped by Tyson Fury. And I really do suspect a lot of mischievous behavior from Tyson Fury's family, because it's funny how nobody out of his team wants to even come out talking about Glovegate, and yet Fury, he's so silent about it. He doesn't want to actually make a defense. He wants to basically deflect all the allegations and then try to say, for you trying to defame me, Deontay, I could bring you to court and I could sue you for at least $100 million, blah, blah, blah. Well, guess what, Fury? It doesn't matter because Deontay Wilder's bringing you to court anyway. So guess what? You're already being screwed in the process. And good enough that this trilogy is actually coming, because I was going to find me with the source on that, but other sources beat me to it. But if you just go to Blue Blood Sports TV or even Fanon Boxing International, they talk about how the mediation has been set for Wilder to have the Fury trilogy rematch. And good enough that it is going to happen, because Fury, he's not going to get away with this crap where he's going to fight this worthless German guy for a title defense on December 5th. And then what? He's gonna try pulling out of what the Walter trilogy fight to go fight AJ for the undisputed, I guess like fight deal, which that's just never gonna happen, and that would just be absolutely hilarious if he really tried doing that. But I mean, if anything, Walter, he's just gonna, he's gonna upset all of that, by, having his course or his court case put in, and then once the court case has been finalized to be put in court by a sitting U.S. judge, Walter will probably sue the living crap out of Fury and probably put Fury and everyone else that's been caught guilty in prison, because I really think Fury, he's afraid of Walter. Like, Fury does not want Walter to keep exposing him for as much crap that he's been into, and Walter can do that. He can ruin Fury's life, because Fury, he basically is spitting on Walter's face for everything that Walter has done for him by giving him 2 opportunities for him to fight against him for his world title. And then Fury just absolutely disrespects Walter by trying to cheat, by cheating in both fights. And then you are trying to get out of what the trilogy rematch clause that has already been activated, and then you're trying to make excuses for it. So, no, to hell with Tyson Fury. Tyson Fury is making himself more crappier to basically become a target for everyone, and Deontay Wilder, he's winning. So either way, if Tyson Fury tries to get out of this trilogy, that's fine. You can fight AJ, but guess what? The WBC, they're going to be in huge deep water by definitely getting fined, and most likely they're going to lose. Yeah, they're going to lose their organization. So I mean, Walter, he's definitely going to get his title back. But if anything, that organization, if it were abolished tomorrow, there's going to be a brand new heavyweight title that will probably come in, and then boom. If anything, I think what Walter should do is, you know what? To hell with the WBC, because they're not going to make any proper defenses, in the court of law. And then on top of that, if Walter doesn't even get his title shot at all, Walter should just get Fury in prison, force AJ to fight him, and there would just be a brand new heavyweight title, probably have it through Al Heyman and PBC, to have that, unification, undisputed heavyweight title belt. And I think that would be a lot more fun than trying to sue Tyson Fury, sue the WBC, which, I mean, Walter, he would be one rich motherfucker. Excuse my French, but Walter would be one rich MF. Walter would have all the wealth in the world to literally spend that money like it's no tomorrow. But Tyson Fury, he is going to be prosecuted like crazy. If anything, he'll just basically be homeless and probably commit suicide. But, it's going to be interesting to see what this court case is going to unfold. Because if Tyson Fury does not do what he needs to do in order to sustain his title status as a champion, or lineal heavyweight champion, for the WBC and the WBA, and I think AJ AJ, he holds the he holds the IBF and the WBL. That's what's going to basically settle the whole score, with having Fury out of the picture. And then Walter, if he does get his title back, which I'm pretty sure he will, if Fury is going to be a pussy to not fight Walter for the 3rd time, which I'm pretty sure he will, because he doesn't want to get killed by Walter, Walter basically wins. And, honestly, Walter doesn't want that. He wants to beat the living crap out of Fury, and he'll probably do it, one way or another. But Fury, he's not going to run away from this. He's already in a very tough position, where he's already screwed himself to the point where he cannot screw with other people. He cannot do what he wants to do, and that's what he's trying to do, where he's already screwed. And his life is basically on the line. If Deontay Wilder wants to push, more criminal charges against Fury to the point where Fury will be sent to prison that following next day after the court case has been finalized, dude, Fury will probably might as well just commit suicide on his way to hell. Because Wilder, he has everything in the bag. When everything comes out with Glovegate and all the evidence comes out against Fury, what are you Fury fans going to do? What are you idiotic Fury losers are going to do? You guys have nothing. Absolutely nothing. When you have to speak in a court of law to defend yourself, you're not going to do anything about it because you know that y'all have already lost. There's nothing that any of you can do anyway, because if you don't have the evidence and the judge asks you to prove how you are not guilty of this particular action that has happened, throughout that case, guess what? You've already lost your case. You're guilty as charged, and you will be prosecuted as soon as possible. But then again, you'll be sentenced to probably death or probably thrown in prison. So, either way, this is a huge win for Wilder. But Fury Wilder 3, that's going to happen. And Tommy Fury obviously wants to be that typical, Mr. Mastermind. Which, I mean, if he's just talking smack to Marsellos, make the fight happen. And let's get it going, man. I don't want to be hearing Tommy Fury just run his mouth and try to act like, his brother. Oh, Tyson Fury is the best boxer ever, and Marcellus Wilder is just going to get the same result what Deontay went through. Knowing that, I find it really hard to believe if Tommy would ever cheat against Deontay Wilder's brother, but for stuff like that, Deontay Wilder's brother would probably not want to trust fighting Fury. Even if Deontay Wilder's brother or, Marsellos try to make sure everything was, clean with them. But, who knows? I mean, if they fight, Marsellos should definitely check everything and make sure that it's a clean fight. And then, boom, let the best man win. Alright, so that's the second story. And off to the final story. Here we go. Shakur Stevenson analyzes Teofimo Lopez versus Devin the Dream Haney. Let's go. Shakur Stevenson. Wait, hold on. Is this even a big article? No, it's not. Alright, good. So, Shakur Stevenson isn't quite sure who would win in a unification fight at lightweight between champions Devin Haney and Teofimo Lopez. Former WBO featherweight champion Shakur Stevenson is quick to defend WBO lightweight champion Devin Haney? You mean WBC? Wait, who has the WBO? Wait a minute. Who has the WBO champion? Lightweight WBO champion. No, that has to be that has to be Jermell Herring. Teofimo Lopez is a WBO. Yeah, dude. They need to fix up this article. For the people over at Boxing News 24, fix your article. You got it wrong with Devin Haney. But Shakur Stevenson is quick to defend WBC champion Haney, or Devin Haney, from the many critics who weren't impressed with what they saw with him in his 12-round decision over 38-year-old Yuriorkis Gamboa on November 7th. Haney, 21, had talked about wanting to beat former IBF WBA featherweight champion Gamboa in a better fashion than Terrence Crawford and Tank Davis or Gervonta Davis, but he failed to do so. Devin did beat Gamboa by a lopsided 12-round decision, but it was a boring match. Haney didn't look as talented as Tank, Devin, or Ryan Garcia with that performance. Many fans feel that Haney's stock dropped off badly with his performance against Gamboa, and almost none of them think he'd beat Tank or Teofimo. A lot of people watched the fight last and said Devin's not that good. But if you pay attention to the fight, Devin is a very skilled fighter, or is a really skilled fighter. And it's not like he's a bum or he had a big performance, said Shakur Stevenson to Fight Hype when asked if he thinks Devin Haney can beat Teofimo Lopez. Teo and Tank are coming off of big performances, and they are trying to make it like Devin. can't hang with those dudes. But styles make fights. You don't know what Teofimo would do to Devin because he would try and make him miss. But you don't know what Devin would do with Teofimo too, because that power might be something he's never seen before. Speed might be something that's different. It's all up in the air with those types of fighters. We'll see. Don't count Devin out. Devin Haney didn't get hit last week. It was a good performance. He was sharp. Hold on. He was sharp, and he landed a lot of good punches. He was, real smart. Boxing is a sport of hit and not get hit. And he executed that perfectly just because it was a big knockout or super flashy performance. I thought it was a really good performance. Styles make fights. I can't count Devin out. I don't agree with that. We're real boxers, and we don't take a lot of punches. We're going to keep working, and we're going to show the world a lot more stuff, said Haney. It would have been better if Haney kept his mouth shut in the lead or the lead up to the Gamboa fight, because he put pressure on himself by talking about how he would beat him easy. That wasn't true. Caleb Plant is a hell of a boxer. They don't know how good Caleb Plant is, said Devin when asked about his thoughts on Plant facing Canelo Alvarez. Canelo is one of my favorites in boxing. I think it's a 50-50 fight. Caleb has a lot of stuff that people don't understand. We don't know if Canelo can handle Caleb's boxing skills, just like we don't know if he can handle Canelo's. It would be a good fight, said Stevenson. Canelo versus Caleb would be a great fight, but we're not going to see it soon. Canelo's next fight is expected to be against Callum Smith. If Canelo wins that match, he'll likely take on some of other Matchroom's other fighters like Billy Joe Saunders, John Ryder, or Gennady Golovkin. Wow. Absolute trash. To hell with you, Canelo. But yeah, let's get on to this story. I personally believe Devin Haney, he did a very great job. He executed everything right for the fight, and he basically did what he had to do as a boxer, like any boxer would, to fight defensively. That's what, every boxer needs to do anyway. Boxing is a sport of hit and not get hit. And sadly enough, a lot of boxers, to the many, like to get hit. And, if you get hit too much, then you're going to possibly deal with some really bad injuries where other fighters can possibly beat you. But the problem is that a lot of these people think that Devin Haney is that type of guy to not be the type of fighter where he can't hang with a heavy hitter like Teofimo or Tank or Gervonta Davis. And sadly enough, people think that Tank or Teofimo would give Devin such a huge test. But if Devin has more defensive capability to bring more pressure and more, how should I say, more, more slickness to the fight where he doesn't need to do that much in order to hurt you or to even just get you frustrated to the point where he's using a lot of his ring IQ to keep the fight in his control, then that's really what he needs to do in order to win. Because Teofimo or Tank, they are more of those type of fighters where they like to rush at you and fight you. Tank or Teofimo would not be able to give Devin, the same result of what they've done to their past opponents, and try to make Devin pressured in the sense where he can possibly get KO'd by either one of them, because it's never even possible. And the thing is that, like honestly, when it comes to these types of fights, you don't need to look at a fighter's performance to see if they're going to do good in their next future big fight. It's all about the style. And I definitely agree with Shakur Stevenson. Styles do make fights. And if you don't, agree with that, you guys don't understand boxing. Boxing is the sport where it's a mastermind game of chess. And you have to defensively and offensively choose, the right decisions in the fight to make sure that you will execute well within the fight. And I think that's what makes Devin Haney special. He is another, mini version of Floyd Mayweather, where he makes adjustments very quickly and he knows how to execute his punches, right on time. And he does everything right in the sense of trying to make sure he doesn't get hit a lot, where he's basically at that level to keep fighting at a very high level performance. But people try to say he's not that good and he can't have that much power, or he doesn't he doesn't execute that much power in his punches to hurt his opponents. But the question I would go back at, or that I would throw back in to refute that, is that does he really even need power? Devin isn't really there to brawl you. He's there to box. And boxing is all about using defensive tactics before using offensive tactics. And I truly believe Devin Haney, he is the pure byproduct of that. And Shakur Stevenson too. They're definitely one of the most, defensive fighters, when it comes to boxing. And they don't need to do that much in order to win their fight. All they need to do is execute good defense and make sure that they are throwing good, effective punches in order to impress other judges for them to win the fight. That's basically it. People want to say that, that people that make statements for, big step-up fights need to be backed up with, the words that they say. And that's simply not true. Devin Haney obviously wanted to make a statement, and sadly enough, he wasn't able to knock out Gamboa, but he actually gave Gamboa a fight. And Gamboa, he is just that type of guy where he's a very good fighter, and he does what he has to do in order to, be that type of guy to give you a fight. And let's just make it clear, but Teofimo Lopez could have lost to Lomachenko, and Tank could have lost to Gamboa. The reason why I say that is because for Teofimo, he doesn't have that much skill to actually deal with pressure. And when Lomachenko picked it up in the 8th round, leading into the the mid the mid length of the 12th round, Teofimo wasn't able to handle Lomachenko's reflexes, using the jab off of the the back foot. Basically Teofimo, he was getting way too comfortable in the later rounds, and then Lomachenko made it pretty much a dogfight for him and Teofimo. And then when Teofimo got hit so many times by Lomachenko's hooks or haymakers, Teofimo definitely got a little bit wobbly, not to the sense where he got KO'd, but Teofimo, he can get hurt. He can have those type of moments where those mental lapses can get to him, where he gets way too comfortable and he doesn't stay alert on certain punches that could take him down. And I think he kind of gives me those Victor Ortiz vibes, where Victor Ortiz, he thinks he's in control of the fight until he gets hit really bad, and then it puts Victor Ortiz in a very bad position where he can get knocked out, or he's going to just get hurt so bad in the round that he's fighting in that puts him at such a crappy position for him to lose. So I think that's where Teofimo doesn't understand that. And on top of that, Devin Haney has way better defense than Teo and Tank. Which, I mean, Tank, he has good defense too, but Devin is literally the most accurate puncher and the most accurate, defensive fighter to know what you're going to throw at him. And he makes, quick adjustments for him to win that fight. So for these idiots at this website trying to shun Devin Haney to say, oh, he's not that good, and Tank, Ryan, or Teofimo would beat him, or that's just very laughable and very backwards to say that, because Tank, when he fought Gamboa, Gamboa gave Tank 2 eyes. He gave Tank such a huge, fight, to actually grind so hard to knock Gamboa out in the 12th round. So that pretty much shows that Tank is very beatable if he doesn't utilize enough defense in the fight. And I think that's what Tank, doesn't really focus on, his defensive output after he executes his offensive, combinations. And, if Tank had, that defensive core skill set to survive, tough, back and forth rounds, I think Tank would definitely have a good fight against Devin. But Teofimo, no. It's like people are just doubting Devin as if Devin's not that good of a fighter, when in the end Devin is a very well-rounded athlete. Like, he's a well-rounded superstar in the making, and all he needs to do is just get those fights in to actually prove himself, to shut up all the haters that try to doubt him. But either way, this is a very good article that just talks about Shakur defending Devin, and I really do respect Shakur, given that defense for Devin, because Shakur, he's a very good athlete. He's a very good fighter. He does everything in the making to make himself the best fighter, and I would hope the same for Devin, because Devin Haney is pretty much like the Kobe of the Kobe Bryant of boxing, and Shakur is pretty much like the Dwayne Wade of boxing. But it would be interesting to see, where Devin's next fight for Teofimo, Lopez, or whoever would be next, because honestly, I really do believe Devin Haney will fight Teofimo next, and that will determine who is the king at 135. And when that is going to be made, that's going to be a very, very insanely tough fucking fight. I'm not going to lie. It's going to be a tough damn fight for both men. But at the end of the day, look at who gets hit more, Devin or Teo, and you will come back to me and say, yeah, Devin Haney, he's way better than Teo, but Teo can knock out Devin if he hits him with that one good punch. And I would like to see what Lord Devin Haney would do to Teofimo, Mr. Email Champion Lopez, because this is the fight that people want to see, Devin versus Teo. And then if anything, hey, if Ryan Garcia beats Luke Campbell and he could possibly fight Tank, let's get it, because either way it's gonna happen. Let's make like a Super 4 or Super 6 tournament, and let's get these fights going. But either way, man, I'm going to finish up on one more topic, and then I'm going to head up on out of here. But over to the women's boxing side, Terry Harper called out Michaela Mayer for a unification bout, which I think that should happen. She got a very good win off of Catharnia Sanders. on the or as of the co-main event feature of the Katie Taylor versus Miriam, Gutierrez, fight that happened, last or yesterday or last night, as Katie Taylor did defeat Miriam in a spectacular fashion for a 10-round unanimous, decision, and Terry, she TKO'd Catharnia Tanders, which was like a very good fight. She did her thing. She made sure everything was on point, and she didn't let up. She obviously has a lot of good skill, and I really do think Catharnia, if she utilized her jab, along with working to let the body, she would have easily got Terry tired and put her into deep waters where Terry, she obviously would not like to handle pressure, and I think that's been shown from the Natasha Jonas fight, where Jonas hit Terry with some very hard uppercuts, and Terry, she got dizzy, but she does not like pressure. And I think for a Michaela Mayer fight, Michaela, she obviously doesn't like pressure too, but Michaela's punches are way more technical, where she could definitely get Terry in a very tough position, and Michaela would have a very good outing to beat her and take her title away. But either or, I think that fight should definitely be made. Both ladies have been calling each other out now, so I think it's good to see what Terry could do to Michaela. But either or, I think Michaela is a very awesome fighter. I love her. I respect her a lot. So let's make this fight happen, and let's see what it's gonna be. Also, I guess just like one more thing to cover up on, but I believe Clarissa, she might be fighting soon. I'm not too sure, but she's gonna possibly fight Miriam Eve DeCare, or maybe Hannah Gabriels. I'm not too sure on that. But if that fight were to happen, it would be a very interesting fight to see, and I would like to see something like that. It would be a very fun fight to see what Clarissa would do against Mary, but I'm not really too sure about that fight. It would be pretty much like a one-sided, or maybe just a early KO victory. But if anything, Clarissa should definitely rematch Hannah Gabriel. She plans to move down back to 154 and take over that division. But either or, she is making a lot of good progress. I believe, if anything, she'll probably have to face Hannah Gabriel to take her out first, and then defeat Mary Eve DeCare, and then maybe possibly who's that other girl? Aline Cedar-Roos, maybe? Yeah, I'm not too sure about that. But either or, it would be nice to see what Clarissa's going to do, in the coming months for her next opponent. But yeah, that's pretty much what I have to do, or what I have to say. I really do appreciate you guys coming through, or for anybody that could have came through. I was actually wanting for any of you decasts to come up and talk to me on some boxing, tell me about Terrence Crawford versus Kell Brook, but I think that'll come through once my audience gets bigger. So yeah, man, I really do appreciate the nice conversation that I brought here onto the channel. I will come back with more boxing stories, and yeah, it's gonna be a very, very good coming weeks of boxing matches. We got Mike Tyson versus Roy Jones. That's actually next Saturday, so that's gonna be awesome. I'm not too sure who fights this upcoming week. I think Dillian White, he fights Yeah, he actually fights this upcoming Saturday. If I'm not mistaken, I think he's fighting Povetkin again this upcoming Saturday. I'm not too sure. Yeah, Connor Ben versus Formella on Saturday. Danny Jacobs. Oh yeah, that's gonna be a fucking fight. But wait, where's Oh yeah. Povetkin. Yeah, Povetkin got Corona, so Povetkin, he's not gonna be able to fight him. Oh my god, that's gonna be so bad. But on that same night, Daniel or on November 28th, on the same night as Mike Tyson and Roy Jones Jr., Daniel Dubois and Joe Joyce are fighting for the British Commonwealth heavyweight championship, and I think Billy Joe Saunders is fighting Murray. Yeah, that's on December 4th. That's not really anything what I care. But on December 5th, don't forget, uh, you know, Terrence Crawford's biggest rival, Errol the Truth Spence Jr., facing Danny Garcia on Saturday for WBC welterweight and IBF, world, IBF World Welterweight Championship. So yeah, those are gonna be crazy fights. And oh yeah, don't forget Pulev and Joshua, and then Nonito Donaire versus Rodriguez out of Puerto Rico, and then we got I think I'm a heavyweight Lawrence Okoli versus Glowatsky. December 12th, that is gonna be a war. I got Glowatsky all day. Felix Verdejo versus Nakatani, Mayoshi Nakatani. Crazy fight. That's going to be insane. And then, we definitely got Shakur Stevenson. I think on, December 17th or something? Or 19th. But yeah, we got a lot of good fights coming up, man. And I'm going to be covering these fights. I'm going to be making some crazy good videos. And it's going to be fun. So yeah, thank you guys for watching this live stream. I hope to give you more content in the future. This is Krod signing out, and have a good night.